Keith Smithson here, another 3 timeouts with Sports Vision Pros with a good friend of mine, Hunter Dickinson. Really cool story with Hunter and I. We go back a long time. We've known each other since
I was 8.
Since 8.
Like 16 years ago, yeah.
8. So this is a full circle moment on Sports Vision Pros. Hunter and I get together at 8 years old to check his eyes. And he just signed his first NBA contract.
Yep.
Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, awesome stuff, right? So first question on our 3 timeouts is just your journey. Like, so when we met at 8, we started with some vision conversations. We went into things like glasses, contacts a little bit. Let's just talk about the journey from an 8-year-old vision-wise to kind of where we are now.
Yeah, it's been crazy. I remember when I was like 8 and 9, like we had to take a break from basketball to really focus on the eye because you told us that once you got to 10, like the eye kind of matures and doesn't really change too much. So we really attacked it. I know I'd wear an eye patch for a while, and like I'd have to wear it when I was playing video games and stuff like that. And I hated it.
Sure.
Oh, that stressed me out. But I really put in a lot of work, and we got the eye pretty good to where now it's not too much of a big difference for me. And it's definitely been a journey for sure, but once I got the contacts, it's definitely been a lot better.
Yeah,
I hated it.
That's what I was going to say. We went from glasses at a younger age, right? Because you were talking about protection and fingers in the eye. Unfortunately, that happens a lot in basketball. Yeah. But then going to the contact lenses kind of made a big difference, big leap for us too, once we learned how to put them in.
Yeah,
which was a little challenge, right? For all you younger guys out there with your first contacts. Even the big guys have a tough time in the beginning, right?
I remember because we did it in high school. I think it was my freshman year of high school.
Yeah.
And I would have to wake up. Normally I would wake up at like 7 to leave for high school.
Sure.
And I was waking up at like 6:15 because it took like an hour to put an hour to put the contacts in.
Yeah.
It was such a struggle. But then once I got it. And then it was, ever since then it's been good.
Yeah, for those of you youth athletes out there, it gets easier. We practice just like anything else, right?
Yeah. I thought for sure I couldn't do it, but then just kept doing it after like a week or two. It wasn't that bad.
Stick with it. Yeah. Question number 2 goes into what Hunter was talking about a little bit. Is Hunter and I had a little bit of an interesting conversation around the vision side of things. It wasn't as simple as just glasses, contacts. He had one eye very different than the other.
Yep.
And some people are just born that way. We use the word amblyopia or lazy eye as kind of way of talking about that. But what that means in technicality is that we have one prescription that's really significantly different than the other. And so what happens in a situation like that is the brain kind of ignores the eye that doesn't see as well and pays attention to that good eye. So if we let that go for an athlete, the challenge later in life is things like depth perception and focus if we don't really have both eyes working together. So a lot of times at a really young level, we'll have athletes wear an eye patch for a while, but then get into things like vision training. You mentioned some of the video games. We actually did some digital training, some video training as well to kind of stimulate the vision in that eye. And it's really critical for youth athletes to get eye exams when they're young to make sure that this is something that's not present because it's so easily correctable. Yeah. Obviously, it took work to do it, but we have a young athlete that if we wouldn't have caught you, if we didn't have an eye exam at 8, maybe you're not sitting here in the NBA today.
Yeah, for sure. No, absolutely. I think definitely because I was cheating when I was younger. I would cheat the eye exams, but then thankfully I did it right that one time and I couldn't see anything. I couldn't see like the big E's. And I was like, ooh, this might be tough. So then got the glasses and just put a lot of work in.
Yeah, and it really becomes almost kind of a brain training at that point. You're training we're now changing the eye physically. We gave him the glasses and the contacts with his prescription, but it's pushing and stimulating the eye to get better and better vision. And now he's at a point where the vision's equal. And that took a lot of work. And again, that's obviously the message for every pro athlete. It took a lot of work to get where he is. It's not just you fall off the tree and you're an NBA player. This guy's worked his whole life since I've known him to get to where he is, and I couldn't be more proud and excited for your journey and your career. I mean, this is pretty awesome.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Yeah. Last question. All right, so last thing we talked about was vision and depth perception. I think kind of an interesting thing for youth athletes. In baseball, we talk a lot about clarity and sharpness. In the NBA, it's one of those things where my impression is, as a doctor from the outside looking in, you're the athlete on the inside looking out. How critical is it, for our game right now as a big? Back in the day, you would stand with your back to the rim and shoot sky hooks and dunk. Now a big is running the court, you're shooting threes. Really depth perception, kind of a big component, something that's really critical for your game, yes?
Yeah, because as you know, like the higher levels you get, the 3-point line comes out and out and out. And so it's a further shot, the higher levels you get. And, you're playing in bigger arenas everywhere you go. So it can definitely be tough. I think obviously it comes with reps. but also I think the vision, like you said, with the depth perception has a lot to do with that. I mean, when you see these kids who play in the Final Four and they play in those football arenas, it definitely messes with your depth perception because you're used to having the crowd so closer, so much closer. When it's further out like that, I think that's one great example of how depth perception is so important in basketball.
Yeah, some of these guys that played in the Final Four, none of those guys.
No, not me. I got to Elite Eight. I never Final Four.
Elite Eight, amazing run. Yeah, I mean, look, so from 8 years old, little, elementary school basketball through elite high school basketball here in the DC area, and then off to Michigan, off to Kansas, and now in the NBA. I mean, I couldn't be more excited about the journey. That's why we do what we do at Sports Vision Pros, is helping kids, athletes, moms, dads know how important vision is to your journey, and seeing where this is really full circle is super exciting, and I can't wait to see what's next for my good friend Hunter Dickinson.
Appreciate it, Doc.
Appreciate it. I'm out of timeouts here on Sports Vision Pros, so join us next time for 3 timeouts Sports Vision Pros.